What's up, you guys? Happy Friday. It's Flashback Friday today, and I am here with you today with a Flashback Friday video about the time that Brandy and Wanya dated when Brandy was still a teenager. So we're going to get into the real tea about their teenage love affair that happened when Wanya was in his 20s and Brandy was a teenager. Now, this has come back up in the news because Wanya recently did a short video on his Instagram, a short video clip on his Instagram where he denied dating Brandy while she was underage. Underage being the key word. So we're going to get into all the tea, the whole backstory of that situation between Brandy and Wanya. So let's get into it. Nicki Swift reports Brandy was 16 when she reportedly started dating 21-year-old Boyz II Men crooner Wanya Morris. So they have a 5-year age difference. At times, it's a 6-year age difference, depending on the time of year. Says they kept their relationship quiet due to the age difference and to protect her clean image. She told VH1's Behind the Music, immediately everything was about my career. What are you teaching young girls? Do they fall in love at a young age? Is that wrong? Is that a sin? Girl, is that a sin to fall in love as a teenager? And she said, it just made me feel like I was all by myself and that whatever I'm feeling personally is going to have to be put to the side. And they report the stress of keeping their love under wraps because it was a secret relationship put a ton of pressure on the young couple. Wanya reportedly left Brandy for another girl, that girl being Adina Howard. Freak like me, Adina Howard, we're going to get into her too. But that other girl was Adina Howard, and they say one who he ostensibly wouldn't have to hide from the world because they are the same age. Wanya Morris, at the time of this filming, is 48, and the same with Adina Howard. Brandy said, quote, "It felt like somebody had just completely taken my heart out of my body and just crushed it." So let's get into a recap of Brandy and Wanya Morris's relationship. CheatSheet.com reports Brandy became a huge fan of Boyz II Men early in the 90s, particularly Wanya. Per Madame Noir, Wanya explained their initial meeting on a recent Instagram Live. That's a live video that I was just referring to. He claims Brandy's mother and manager, Sonia Norwood, arranged a meeting between the two. And Wanya says Brandy basically became his protege. He even introduced her to Vita Spears and Ralph Farquhar, which landed her roles on the sitcoms Thea and on Moesha. And Wanya actually wrote the theme song to Moesha. Brandy toured with Boyz II Men, and she and Wanya performed a duet together, which was a remix to her single Broken Hearted. And she revealed during her 2012 VH1 Behind the Music special that she confessed her love for Wanya but was afraid to do so because of their 6-year age difference. And she said, quote, "I'm just in love with somebody, but I can't tell them. Too young to tell them. I can't really tell my mom because she'll have a heart attack as a mother and a manager. What will I do?" And she said, "One day I got the courage." So she approached Wanya. She was his protege and she approached him. And she said, "One day I got the courage to tell Wanya how I felt. I just told him that I loved him and thanked him for making me feel the way I feel because I had never felt that way before." And she said he was just like, wow. The relationship took a transition, and we became a couple. I was on a high. It was love. It was real love. And so according to Wanya has denied dating Brandy while she was underage. And like I said, that's the key word you guys have to remember. Underage is different in every state. Underage doesn't mean under 18. In some states, it means under 16. So when he says underage, he doesn't mean under 18. But he said in his recent Instagram Live video, Brandy and I were friends in the beginning. I was young at the time. Now, when he says he was young, he means like early 20s, not teenager young, but early 20s. He said, I wasn't 30, nothing. Don't get it twisted. So what happened is she became kind of like my little protege. And then he said, once she turned of age. Now, he's not saying 18. He said once she turned of age, we had been hanging around each other so much that there came to be some sort of connection, an intimate connection. We actually fell in love. Now we were young. He's saying we. And when he says we were young, he means he was in his early 20s and she was in her late teens. And he said that's what happens. You're young and you fall in love, especially when you have the ability to be around somebody a lot. You're learning through everything. And Brandy and I learned through a lot. When it came time for Brandy to go on her prom, get this, he said she was my girlfriend. Kobe Bryant was graduating from high school that year. Brandy was my girlfriend. She had just graduated from Pepperdine. And her mom and I, we both made it so Brandy was able to go on the prom with Kobe. And so in an old interview with The Breakfast Club that has been unearthed, Wanya actually admits to being intimate with Brandy while she was young, not underage, because underage doesn't mean under 18, but while she was young. So y'all get into this.
By my view, revolt.
They were saying she was really young when y'all dated.
Yeah, she was. Not that young. Not
this
young baby. No, that's what I'm saying.
Hold
on, but you know that's why. But hold on, that's why I stopped it. Hold on, but that's why I stopped it and said that she wasn't that young, because I don't want y'all to think Boyz II Men was no.
She said
I was young too.
She said she was 15 and she had to keep it a secret because she was so young.
See, we did the thing. We did the thing when she was like 16, 17, around that time, you know.
So you were still a boy too.
I wasn't old. I wasn't
big
like
yet,
38 years old, nothing like that. I was old enough to. She was old enough to get it.
Okay. But was it legal in the state y'all was in?
I mean, we was always in different states. We was on
They had a nomad relationship.
You know what I'm saying? We just, we didn't do it in the states that it was legal. It was illegal in.
Nice.
No. It was, you know what I mean? It was a time. It was a relationship. It grew and it ungrew. I guess you could say that.
Where did it unsquirt?
All right, so when he talks about the relationship ending, this is where Adina Howard comes into the story, and this is why Adina Howard's career never flourished the way you thought that it would. It had to do with her being in a love triangle with Brandy and Wanya Morris. Adina Howard's messy romantic life ultimately stopped her career short, and she hasn't been as relevant since. So here's what happened. And they say Adina Howard came for Brandy's man and lost her career. Not necessarily the man, but she lost her career behind it. They said it all started when Adina Howard, a new darling in the music industry in the 90s, got hot in the pants for Wanya Morris of Boyz II Men, which was by then an already massively popular group. There was just one snag though. As detailed in the docuseries Unsung, Wanya was already attached to someone else, and that someone else was Brandy, a way bigger, bankable star than Adina Howard, and a celebrity with a squeaky clean image that was the polar opposite of Adina Howard's unapologetically promiscuous style. But it wasn't just the ladies themselves who were feeling some kind of way over their shared bae. When whispers about Adina Howard and Wanya Morris's fling reached the ears of the high-powered musical executive Sylvia Rhone, the love triangle got even more complex and complicated. Sylvia Rhone is widely regarded as the most influential woman in the music business ever. And so basically, Adina Howard went on the Wendy Williams radio show and threw shade at Sylvia Rhone, and Sylvia Rhone had sided with Brandy in the whole Brandy, Wanya, and Adina Howard love triangle. And that's how Adina Howard lost her career. But the breakup for Brandy, it actually helped propel her career. Her breakup with Wanya Morris inspired a lot of her songs. Like Vibe reports, you might remember that Wanya was featured on the remix of her single Broken Heart off her debut album. And many of the songs on Never Say Never were inspired by Brandy and Wanya's relationship and subsequent breakup. Those lyrics were allegedly regarding her teenage love affair on her, and it was a teenage love affair with Wanya Morris, who was in his 20s, but being that she was over the age of 16. Like in a lot of states, like Georgia, for example, the age of consent is 16. In DC, the age of consent is 16. If you look at the age of consent across all 50 states in the United States, you will see that the mode is 16, not actually 18, like most people think. The mode is actually 16. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think about this whole little situation, their teenage love affair, the love triangle. And as always, thanks for watching.